Morning, it's Cleggfamilyoffour here again. Right, what we've been up to? Come on, Dad, tell us what's been going on.
Well, good afternoon. It's just coming up to 2:15. I'm on the way to have my COVID swabs done before I go into hospital on Tuesday for my little op that I'm having. I've got to have these COVID swabs done, and then I have to self-isolate for 3 days, which unfortunately, too late, also means that the kids have to be off school, because obviously they're back at school, they're mixing, which is a risk that they're going to bring something home that I could get. So they were a bit gutted at first because they'd only just gone back to school, but it's just 1 day, they'll not miss much, hopefully. We're nearly there where we need to be. Peter's driving. I wasn't supposed to come on my own, but I'm not confident at driving to places where I don't know where I'm going. So we asked, and Pete could come with me, as he did on Monday when I had to go for my pre-op. I'll talk about that in a bit, but we're just pulling in, and it's called Woodside. Now just got to try and figure out where we've got to go. COVID swab servicing, so we've just got to go straight ahead at the moment. Follow the arrows, and as my dad would say, I never saw the Indians. That away. So driving round. Look, there's Peter with his mask on. See if I can turn my camera around, because I'm not like good at doing this kind of thing. Ooh. Right, I'll just turn you off a minute and then set you back up. Right, we've just been instructed where to go, so we're on the move. Right, my camera turned off then for some unknown reason, and it's just been out and asked me what my name is. I'm not looking forward to this. Hopefully they don't need that, so I'll put that back in my bag.
I was going to turn the engine off. Window won't work.
Oh, they're just putting some more PPE on. I've got to admit, it's not as busy as I thought it would be. I thought there'd be queues because of all the reports you get in the news. What do you think?
Yeah, I'd have thought. People saying they can't get tested because there's no slots. But here, there's only 2 of us here.
Oh, someone's coming. She's got a plastic bag.
You ready? Does she do it? Does she do it?
I don't know, that's what I'm wondering. Morning.
Can you confirm your full name and date of birth for me? Have you had a swab done before?
I've had MRSA swabs, but never a COVID swab.
Mavina's going to do it for you when she comes out, and she'll explain to you what she's going to do. It doesn't hurt. It's just a bit uncomfortable.
My little girl, she's like, oh, Mummy, it hurts. I'm like, no, it doesn't. Well, so-and-so at school said it does. I went, and how does she know? She had one. She went, yeah. I'm like, oh, okay.
They're just a bit uncomfortable.
Yeah.
Can make the yeah.
Hi love, it's just me.
It's
just
just
me.
it's
It's like we're like long lost friends, it's just me. I'm Abina. Has Sharon explained what we're doing?
Yeah.
She's not allowed to do it because she's horrible. Aren't you, Sharon?
I'm clean.
It's
Not
horrible.
dirty like her.
I'm just going to be taking this swab to the back of your throat first and then same swab into each nostril.
Okay.
Is that alright?
Yep.
Whenever you're ready, if you could just remove your mask.
What, you can come again? I don't know what my hair's doing. I think it's having a
Moment.
right. It's having
That nurse didn't move it in for long, did she? At all?
no. It's,
Can I put this back on?
Yeah, love.
my hair's having a bad
So you'll
hair
hear
day.
something within 24 to 48 hours. If you don't hear anything, don't panic. Just attend your surgery as planned.
Uh-huh.
They're only contacting if you're a positive case. So if you could just isolate from now till Tuesday. Is it
Yep.
Tuesday?
Yeah, it is, yeah.
That's fine. I wish you all the best.
Thank
you
you.
very
Hope
much.
all goes well for you. I was just about to say get well. See you
Get
soon.
well soon.
We won't see you soon.
Merry Christmas. See you
Yeah.
later.
See you later. love.
Thank you
Bye.
so much.
later.
Bye. Well, that was not as bad as I thought. The worst part was the back of the throat because it just makes me gag. Up the nose, nothing to it. People were saying like they go up your nose and back of your throat and all that, so I was a bit like, oh. But no, it's just up your nose. If you've had an MRSA swab done, if you've had to go into hospital, when all the fuss with the MRSA was about, then basically it was just like that, just a swab up each nostril. So that's us sorted. Off home for a cup of coffee.
Tuesday, the 15th of September, and it's quite a warm day out there. Yeah, we've been lucky the last couple of days for some nice weather. Well, what we're doing today? Well, today's the day that Diane has to go into hospital to have a defib fitted. It's time for a pacemaker change, and they're putting one in with a defib because her heart is struggling and having some funny rhythms. So they want to put this defib in so that when it goes into that state, it can shock it and get it back into a proper rhythm and prolong her life, so to speak. So that's what's being done today. She's a bit nervous, and yeah. Saturday she had a COVID test, which I'll show you in a minute. We had to go to Rotherham, and she had a COVID test, and we had no results, so I assume that she's okay. Otherwise I won't be able to do the op today. Right, so we've got to get her to hospital. She's just gone upstairs to get her bits and bobs, and then we'll get off to the hospital. I won't be able to film much in the hospital because there's no cameras allowed apparently, and yeah, so come and join us. Right, there we go. I've just dropped Di off now at the hospital. Dropped off at the ward. It was horrible really, because I could just take her to the ward, to the doors, and we just had to say bye-bye because I'm not allowed to stay. So once the procedure's been done, I'll be back to pick her up. So got my fingers crossed. I'm sure she'll be fine. So she'll go home now and have a brew. So I'll see you in a bit. What we've been up to? Come on, Di. Tell us what's been going on.
Had me COVID,
She had a COVID test.
and yay, that came back negative. So then I was able to go into hospital on Tuesday. We had to self-isolate for 3 days. So that was like Saturday, Sunday, Monday. Girls went at school Monday. Got up, didn't we?
We did.
Went to hospital. Pete walked me up to the ward.
And as you'll have seen, I've had to drop her off.
Got told off because he wasn't supposed to be in there, but no one stopped us, did they?
No,
There was
no.
a security bloke there as well, weren't there?
Yeah, there was. Yeah.
So, sat in my little chair beside my little trolley. What did they do first?
Venflon tablets.
They did a Venflon. They tried to get in there, unsuccessful. Tried to get in back of my hand. I hate needles. If anybody knows me or knows anything about me, they know I hate needles. Even though I'm diabetic and I inject myself, that doesn't bother me. But when anybody else comes at me with a needle, I don't like it. But when she went in there, I jumped and she missed the vein completely. So that one had to be abandoned. In the end, they had to call someone out who managed to get one in just there, which is a bit awkward because when you bend your wrist. So I had that done, had some obs done, had my blood sugars done, everything was going on fine, drinking me dodgy water, that smelt not nice. Consultant came round to see me, explain what was going off, what they were going to do. I've lost my train of thought.
Consultant came to see you, and then
I had the antibiotics. There was 2 lots of antibiotics put in. It's as preventative. They give it you as a covering in case of any infection. So then I walked into theatre, sat on the bed. I admit I was terrified, but I just kept thinking it's just a battery change. Because I've had that done twice before.
with a pacemaker, wasn't it?
With a pacemaker, just a battery change. But this time it was a new pacemaker. It's a slightly bigger one. But as you're aware, it's got the defib in it.
And here's one, I'll show you, this is similar. This is one that I've got a photograph of, a defibrillator stroke pacemaker. So this is the size that would have been fitted.
Because by all accounts, the bottom half of my heart is totally relying on the pacemaker, which I didn't realise.
Well, it's deteriorated, hasn't it?
Yeah.
So.
In theatre, they turn my pacemaker off. If my normal heart rate was 30 or below, then it would have been a bit tricky, but my normal resting heart rate was 41. So that wasn't a problem, they could go ahead and do it. So the pacemaker was turned off. I asked if I felt alright. I felt woozy, dizzy, but I'd also had strong painkillers. They put some contrast in my Venflon because they had to do a scan to make sure that there was a vein they could go down with the new lead. And he was happy, he'd got good access, he could do it. So that was a relief. I had local, which I hate. Oh, hello, Bob. I had that. I'm just like, oh.
Sit down, that's it.
Bob wants to join in. Tolerated that. Once that was done and I was numb, I thought, that's it. All's fine. We can do this. It's just a change. He grabbed hold of my pacemaker and he was like wiggling in it. And he's like, oh, it's moved, but I've got it. I'm like, okay. And I don't know what he started to do, but it was really, really uncomfortable. At one stage, I thought they were undoing the screws to the wire because I could feel like a vibration. So I thought, they're taking it out, brilliant, you know. I can't see what they're doing because obviously they put the cloth up and you have like a perfect shield over your face and that covers it. So it's like your head's in like a little tent. And it was warm under that little tent, I can tell you, with your little paper shower cap on.
It is a little.
And I don't know what he did or what he was trying to do, but it hurt, and I just screamed out, no, and a bit like, you know, having Bob's bum in my face, like, no. And he stopped there and then and said he couldn't do it, it was too painful, I was getting distressed, I would have to be referred to Sheffield, and it would be done under a general anaesthetic, so I'd be put to sleep. So then basically came out of theatre on me on the trolley, put into the little space where I was sat, and because I had sedation, I had to wait in bed an hour. They came round to do my obs, and my blood pressure dropped to, did I say to you, was it 84/25? So they were a bit concerned about that, told me to drink plenty, and it came back up. I got out of bed, I felt alright, I was doing my word searches because I took that to keep me occupied, and I could go, obviously come home. I rang Pete and I said, like, you know, come and get me. I says, but don't come up to the ward. I says, the nursing staff will walk me down, because obviously he's not allowed in the hospital. Pete phoned when he got there. I told the nurse, she got a nurse to walk down with me, and she walked me right to the car, didn't she?
She did.
So then came home, felt rotten because I'd had morphine. Basically I just slept all night.
Yeah, good night's sleep she had.
Which makes a change. So now it's just a waiting game to get a letter or a phone call from Sheffield.
Yeah.
And I have to have the COVID swabs done again, the pre-op again, and I'm tipping that this next operation will be, I'll have to stop in a couple of nights, with it being a general. But that's where we're up to. I've got a nice bruise, I'll get Pete to show you in a minute. I ache, I'm sore, it's tender, but I'm at home.
You're home. The thing is, we've got to go through it all again, really.
I know. He said it would be in the next couple of months.
Ooh.
But I'm hoping, September, October, I'm hoping it's going to be done before Christmas, so we can
be nice to get done. But
sort of enjoy Christmas.
But with COVID going on and hospitals and operations being postponed, etc.
I know. That's the only thing that's worrying me.
The only thing that worries me is because your heart is stressed. And I know the pacemaker has got a few more months left in it, but it's just the stress on your heart. And to learn that your heart's deteriorated that much, that is now relying on the pacemaker.
Yeah, I didn't know that. So, I thought the pacemaker just kicked in as and when the heart needed it.
But apparently now it's beating
it's
your heart.
relying on it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So...
bit of a shock.
Well, it would have been if you had a defib.
Oh, yeah.
And the reason they want to put the defib in is because the heart goes into a certain rhythm, and
the pacemaker can't keep up with it.
And the pacemaker, and it's getting into a dangerous rhythm, so it's actually to prevent a heart attack. So
I've been told two stories of how it feels when you have the shock. A heart nurse told me, if you could imagine, say like as she put it, you stood at your kitchen sink and somebody came up behind you and thumped you between the shoulder blades on the back. So like you've been assaulted, as she said. She says, that's how it feels. And I was like, okay, because you know, I've never been thumped on the back. But then at the pre-op, I was told it's like having a kick to the chest. Again, I've never been kicked to the chest. So I think that the thing that's worrying me, I'm not bothered about the procedure because I've had that done 3 times. The first one and the 2 changes. The thing that worries me is having a shock, because I'm going to be sat anticipating, because I don't get any symptoms, do I?
That you know of.
That I know of, that I'm aware of.
You just feel tired and drained, don't you?
So I can imagine me sitting and like, you know, is it going to happen? Is it, you know, is it going to be now? Is today the day?
Apparently some people pass out when you get it.
She says you'll jolt. Nobody else will feel the shock, because I was concerned if I was, say, like holding someone's hand, like Pete or the girls, or Daisy likes to cuddle a lot, or, you know, and if that, and I got a shock, would they feel it? But
No.
they don't. Or else I'd be throwing them across the room. Especially with Bob if he jumps up on me.
Yeah, yeah. So there we go. That's what's been happening.
We've got some clips. I did do a bit of vlogging when I went for the swabs doing. So
Well, you'll have seen them because I've shown them before.
So
this little bit.
No, you haven't, because I haven't sent them to you.
But the good thing about editing, you'll have seen it before you get to this bit. So yeah, the clips you'll have seen where we had the COVID test, etc. Oh, I didn't. Where Dad had the COVID test.
They were nice people, weren't they?
They were. It was
really.
and there was
really
no
nice.
queue whatsoever. We just drove in. We were the only ones there. It was a Saturday afternoon, and we expected big queues. And we went early, 10 minutes early, thinking we'd have to stick in a queue. And
in fact, we were driving away before his appointment, weren't
we actually drove out before our actual appointment time. There was one person drove in just before we left.
But
so it was very quiet.
They put you at ease, didn't they?
Yeah.
I thought they were going to be strict. Well, they are strict, don't get me wrong, but sort of sharp and bossy. That's what I was expecting,
So
but there was none of that.
This was at Rotherham, and there was no queues whatsoever for people saying they couldn't get a COVID test. So maybe because we'd had one booked by the NHS and was just able to drive in, I don't know. But certainly no queues on that Saturday. And yeah, they were very nice. So you'll have seen on the vlog. So that's going to be the end of our vlog for today. Just to fill you in, just to put you in the picture of what Di's been doing. We've not vlogged a lot because basically we're in isolation really, and there's not a lot happening. And
I can't go out, can I?
we are keeping Di isolated, and we don't want this COVID because we never know if we're going to get a call from the hospital. I mean, we could be waiting weeks and months, but then again, we might get a phone call to say come in next week. We don't know.
I mean, it was quick enough to get this appointment, wasn't it?
Yeah, it came pretty quick. So we're keeping her isolated. Plus, we don't want her to get COVID because she's at very high risk with having the heart problem. And we've had a few scares, haven't we? Because I've had a bit of a cold.
Daisy has.
Daisy had a cold. We had to keep her off school. And Katie also felt unwell yesterday. But it just seems to be a bit of a cold going round. We're not panicking, you know, we're not getting a COVID test yet.
I'm just confused because I don't know, should I panic and get them tested, or should we just see what happens? It's one of them situations, isn't it?
Yeah.
You know, I don't want to put my kids at risk or my husband.
But, yeah, again, we don't want to be
having a test if it's not necessary.
If it's negative.
If it's not
necessary. You know what I mean? Because it's just a waste then, isn't it? Because people do need these tests. So, and it's quite easy for us to keep isolated. So, I don't have to go out shopping, we just get it delivered. So, that saves me walking around the Tesco's and Morrison's. Just get on the internet. That. So, all I have to do is go to the door and take it, bring it in. So, and it's cheaper.
Because he doesn't buy all the rubbish that he can see on the shelves.
Yes, and the kids aren't there saying, can I have this, can I have that?
So
yeah, it's cheaper in the long run. I'm going to keep these deliveries going, even when COVID's finished.
But he doesn't do them, I do.
Well, it gives her mind occupied, doesn't it? Keeps her out of mischief. So there we go, that's the end of our vlog. And I will be doing some more vlogs when I've got a few things. Got a bit quiet. The last lot of vlogs I did were Haven, holidays, when we went to the caravan. And keep an eye out, you might see another couple coming up, we don't know yet. We'll have to see if we can get there. So bye for now, and thank you for watching. And don't forget to like our vlogs. So bye for now. Bye!